All right, we're live.
Hey.
We're live. Hey, everyone. Thanks for
Hello.
joining us. It's cold all over the world. Usually you get on and you be like, is it cold where y'all at? Because I don't go to
Mhm.
Florida. And hell no, it's cold everywhere.
Everywhere.
Like, I wonder if Donna watching it. Donna, is it cold in Florida? She probably don't know what to do. She probably cold as a mug. And the funny thing is their cold is like, what, 50 degrees?
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, it's -10 wind chill here. Our temperature is 19 and it's -10 wind chill. But I guarantee Donna got on Uggs, a North Face. Do they still make North Faces? I think I just dated myself.
Canada Goose is the big thing now.
Oh, it's not yet.
Yes, that's a big thing now. North Face has been phased. At least that's what I'm seeing out here
I think you're right.
in the PNW.
Yeah.
I'm just like, I ain't in Toronto. Why am I seeing all these Canada Goose jackets? But it looks like, just like with Tesla, it's like a status symbol here.
Yeah. Okay. That's fine.
But yeah, no, it's cold here too. Since I've been in here, I'm like, the lowest I've seen it is probably about 36, 40, which I'm like, whatever. It dropped down to 20 degrees, and I don't even know what the wind chill was, but I was like, oh no, no.
Yeah.
I turned on the wood burning stove last night, and I was like, yeah, I can't.
Yeah, it's not okay. It's really
Mhm.
not. I don't know why they thought this was okay because it's not at all.
Yeah,
So.
I'm like, my thin Jamaican blood can't. I don't care how long I've been in the States. This thin
It
blood's
never.
like,
That's funny.
I'm not built for this.
Exactly. No, it's crazy. So today we're going to talk about retirement plans. And just kind of at a broad level because there's so much that goes into retirement plans. So from the level of a CFO and very high level legal strategy perspective, but as we go through these things, just drop your questions in the chat. We'll be happy to answer them or DM us, but keep in mind, there's so many different circumstances that come into play. So we're not going to be able to hit on them all right now. And you'll likely be able to present some of these tips to your tax person as they're preparing your taxes. Because as we go over some of them, you can still, from my side of finance side, you can still contribute for 2023 to save money. So you want to talk to your tax person. If you need a tax CPA, you can reach out to me and we can talk further about that. And you definitely want to talk to your wealth advisor. Get in touch with Carla Oopman. You've seen her on all of our pages. And she can help guide you on that side too.
Yeah.
But Tracy, I think I'll start with, before we start, we can probably intro who we are. Why should they listen to us? So you go first.
We always forget that part, no matter how often. We just want to dive in.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody, Patrice Tisdale. Known on Facebook as Tracy Tisdale. On LinkedIn, where I'm professional, it's Patrice Tisdale Esquire. I am a chief legal officer, and managing partner with Tisdale Legal Group, which is my law firm. We focus on providing our clients the strategy behind things, not just reading and giving you the legalese, but our goal and purpose is to work with business owners to make sure that their contracts are vetted, fully vetted, and that their path towards their goals are also fully vetted. We work on a flat fee monthly recurring basis, so you don't have to worry about the billable hour or have a heart attack when you see the bill, because it's a predictable monthly amount. So that should not stop you. We want to encourage you to gut check decisions that you make, because my mantra is all business decisions are legal decisions. So we encourage you to reach out and call and talk to us as a client before you make decisions, because I'm all in your business. So that is I.
And that's who you want. You want someone that's personable. Attorneys can already be a bit intimidating. So at least you get somebody that has a nice personality like Tracy that's going to check you and you don't feel like, oh, God, what the heck? And I'll go cry. I mean, you might cry, but she your friend.
I'm going to hug you too.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. My name is Kellé Thorpe. I am happy that I am a top 100 CFO in the world.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. If you want to know more about that, you can go to my pages. Voting is open until February 15th. So,
We'll
but
put the link. If she doesn't, I'm gonna put the link in the comments after.
I'm trying to do better with celebrating myself because I just kind of roll with it. So I appreciate that. So what do I do? So I show CEO business owners how to maximize business profits by telling them the story behind their numbers and providing them with financial strategy. And so my firm, Commas with Kellé, does that by, yes, a big part of your business financials is bookkeeping, right? So you're always told to get a bookkeeper, but it's far beyond that. So what we do is there's two pieces. Either we can do your bookkeeping and or your financial strategy, or you can pair them all together. And we too get all in your business from a non-judgmental standpoint, because we've all been there. We've seen it all. If we haven't been there, we've seen it, we've heard it. Nothing is new under the sun, right? And it's all about setting you up for success, which is why Tracy and I are here to talk today, because we want to set you up for success as business owners. So yeah, let me go back, jump right on back into this 401k stuff. So 401k plans, it can get a little gray as it compared to a business owner versus an employee. So I'm going to start out with the solo business owner, because I know that's who most of our following is. You're a one person, one participant likely plan business owner. So with you guys, the business owner wears two hats in a 401k plan, the employee and the employer. So contributions can be made in the plan in both capacities. So you could really, really benefit if your business is doing well and you can afford to contribute large amounts in there. It could be a huge benefit for you. So I think I want to start with you as the employer. So as an employer, you can contribute a non-elective amount of 25% of your compensation. And this is where I said it can get a little gray. So some of you, which I'll tack on at towards the end of my section about the employee pieces, you're used to just flat numbers like 22,000 a year or pre-tax this amount, where a business owner is a percentage based on how much compensation you have in your business. So the thing with that is, you business owners that want to claim you only paying yourself $40,000 a year. Yeah, that part. This is why we encourage you to have all of the pieces, and why Tracy, Carla, and I are paired together. It's very intentional for success of the business owner, because you need to know all of these pieces to be successful. And if you came to me and told me you was paying yourself $40,000, I'm going to give you the raised eyebrow. And if you go to Carla, she definitely going to give you the raised eyebrow. So you're not going to want to just, I mean, it's one thing if that's really what your title of your business, and that's all Tracy's area that she can help you with. Like, what is reasonable compensation for your title? Like, you can't be the CEO and you make $40,000. Like, is that realistic? Right? So let's keep that in mind. But back to the definition, 25% of compensation can go into a solo 401k, a SEP, or one participant plan. I'm not going to dive into the difference of the plans because it's just too much. You can actually reach out, either if your tax provider is privy to the plans, they may be able to support you. I know the CPA that we partner with is, so if you need someone, reach out to me. And I know Carla definitely is, so she can be able to help you there. The self-employed individual, which would be you in that contribution, also has a total max if you're over the age of 50, but it cannot exceed $66,000 a year. Now, keep in mind, I'm speaking numbers for the year 2023, the tax year 2023. So the beauty of 401k plans, it's really the only thing, or let's say retirement plans overall, it's really one of the only things that, I think if not the only thing, that you can actually still contribute after the year has turned over, and it can benefit you in a year prior. So you have until March 15th. I think the deadline is still March 15th to contribute to a 401k plan or a retirement plan for a prior year. So this is why I wanted to talk about this piece today, because the information of 25% max compensation or a max of $66,000 a year, you still have time to do that and lessen your tax liability. And that's what this is all about. The more you contribute pre-tax dollars to a 401k plan, the less you will pay or will lessen your tax liability because it lessens your tax bracket. It could. So let's say you're on the cusp of reaching a new tax bracket by $3,000. Yeah, all year long, you may have been like, I cannot afford to pay myself the extra X dollars to meet that 3,000. But when your tax professional go to do your taxes and you see what that new bracket puts you at with that additional $3,000, you may go ahead and make transfer that money from your compensation to a 401k plan to get you back in that lower tax bracket. So that's how it works as far as the one participant business owner perspective goes. Before I switch over to the employee side, is there anything you want to add in that section, Tracy, or you want me to keep going?
No, you can go, you can keep going, because with the business owner, you know, from the legal standpoint, there it's where the employees, you know, kind of come in. As you said, if they are, you know, a business owner, that's an employee. They're the legalese that we can talk about, but that ain't this life.
All right, cool. All right. Nope, I'll keep going. And before I wrap up talking from the employer or the business owner perspective, let me also add this information that we're talking about today, at least on my side, specifically is for S Corps, C Corps. It's unfortunately not going to help you guys that are LLC and filing on a 1040, 1040 Schedule C, sorry, because it's just a little different. So that's one of the advantages. So there's a lot of layers, but switching over to the employee side. So the employee match now for the year 2023 is $22,500. That's the max pre-tax dollars you can put in for the entire year for 2023. And again, you still have time to do that. So if you're the business owner, then you would just simply make the transfer. If you are, let's say you're an entrepreneur and you're still collecting a W-2 from somewhere, kudos to you for being able to carry both of those hats. Be careful though, because if you have an S Corp and you have a W-2 job, all of that money counts towards the max, right? So you need to carefully monitor how much you're contributing. And this is why I like streamlined plans. Don't have money going all over the place, y'all, because you're going to get confused. The penalty is pretty hefty for over contribution. Your wealth advisor is going to be like, what the hell are you doing? Like, it's just too much. So if you can, contribute to one plan. If you're wearing dual hats and you're a W-2 and a business owner, that's an S Corp or a C Corp or some type of corporation, what I would suggest you do is max out what's happening in your employee, your W-2's plan, because that guidance will help you to not only have it streamlined in one place, but you can take advantage of whatever they're matching, the employer match portion is, right? So you always, as a financial tip, want to try to contribute at least what your employer is matching. So I've seen it 3%, 6% of your salary. And if that's what you're able to contribute, always shoot for at least that, because that's free money. That's free money that's they're giving you. So at least try to go for that. But again, all of the information that we're giving you are ideas and guidance for now. Always consult your attorney, your tax professional before you do any of these things. But either way you go, this is the prime time to talk about it. If you're not already maxed out, to have the conversation with your CFO, your tax professional, and Tracy's going to talk from the legal side of what conversations you should have from that perspective as well. And there are some additional amounts, like if you're over 50, you can contribute an additional $7,500. But if you want to talk further about all of this, hit me in my DMs and we can go further into detail. I want to leave time to pass the baton to Tracy so she can talk from the legal side of the employees.
Yeah. But before I go there, I do have a question for you because it triggered a thought when you're talking about the S Corp and being an employee. So, the person has their own S Corp, but they're also a W-2 somewhere else. What does that look like for someone that has an S Corp that they're doing their own thing, but they are a contractor, with other portions and that money is coming in? And that may be too much details for now, but it was just the thought. So I don't want you necessarily taking that deep dive, but
Okay. Yeah, I'll try to stay on the surface here. That can get I'm glad you brought that up because that's and many people are doing that. That can get very, very confusing. Especially, I always suggest my clients that are a W-2 employee and an S Corp or some type of corporation business owner that they run everything outside of their W-2 job through their business EIN number. So when you fill out that W-9 as a contractor to work for whomever you're working for, fill it out as your business. You can put your name at the top on that W-9, and then right underneath it says business owner or DBA. You can put your business name there, and further down, instead of entering your social, enter your business EIN number. And that way it all flows through the business. And that way, when it comes through the business, it can be also considered as your income and then trickle down to all the other pieces we're not going to get into, but it ultimately will impact your compensation, right? So that is the best way to keep it as streamlined as possible and clear. But if you're the S Corp, I'm actually glad you asked this because I have one more thing that I left out. There is an advantage that you could take of contributing to a SEP plan, which is a solo employer plan, I think it's what the definition is. But what you would do there is that's actually your business contributing on your behalf a portion into a retirement plan, which would lessen your business's tax side too. So there's so many different layers to that. But from the whole contractor, W-2, and your business guys, stop all that. That's just it's too much. And the more papers you got to take to your tax person, the higher your tax bill about to be as well, right? So if you got a fractional CFO and all you got to give them are 2 sheets of paper, because that's all our clients worry about, and they get to 2 sheets of paper from us. They get a P&L and a balance sheet, and their taxes are done. And then if you got a W-2, all you got to do is worry about one form, 3 sheets of paper. Y'all coming in with 5 1099 forms, your half-ass P&L from your business, your W-2, that's the only thing that's 100% accurate. And like, hey, I want to pay $500 for my taxes. Don't do your tax person like that. Don't do them like that. Did that answer your question? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You did it. I was good. I was good. I had wrapped it up with a bow and segged it all the way to you.
And then I went and asked the question. But no, but it's true because you do see that, like, because we have this thing where everybody's on a grind and it's, or even the ease of getting to where you want to be. There's so many different, have multiple streams of income. So you see people engaging in this. And, to segue, as Kelly said, like most of you guys are, solopreneurs, or you're starting to build your team. So one of the things I stress, especially at this time of year when you are looking, is ensuring that your team members, because we all like, oh, they're independent contractors, they're just team members, they're not employees. But then you treat them as if they're employees. You want them only doing work for you during a particular time. You have, some places have tracking, software that the, contractor will sign in and look at, et cetera. There are a number of different ways that you can convert your independent contractor to an employee based on the control that you have. And now the DOL, Department of Labor, in March, they've implemented a new rule or proposed a new rule that's going to take effect in March that is going to change the standard, at least of how they look at it. The courts have already been doing this. They look at, there are a couple different tests. The biggest one or more pervasive one has been the control test. So how much control do you exercise over the contractor, over your worker? The DOL has now proposed to adopt what some of the courts have been doing and what, employees or contractors have been arguing when they do sue, which is the totality of the circumstances. They're going to look at everything, not just the control. They're going to look at, can the contractor do work for other people during that time period? Do you have them going from, point A to point B to point C? Like, do you have them run into different clientele? And what can they do, in between that, time? So there's a revamp that's coming. I am encouraging people, if you have team members, do a review of how you're actually working with those team members to make sure that you have not crossed that line. Because if you cross that line, as Kellé says, employees, there's a slew of benefits, including, the 401k contributions, there's overtime, there's, whether Social Security contributions, there are different things that you have to deduct from their pay or pay on behalf of them, workers' compensation, etc. An independent contractor, you don't have to do none of that. You just give them a check and they figure that out. They run their own business and figure that out. If you have been treating someone, if you've called them an independent contractor, but you've been treating them like an employee and things go bad and they go and file a complaint with the DOL, then all of those things that you should have been paying and should have been doing, etc., you're going to have to go back and pay those things. You're going to, and now you open the doors for the IRS, the state tax agency, all these other agencies to come in and dig into your business.
Yeah, it's so much there. This is because I know, keeping it real, before you and I met, when we had our first consultation to work together, and you were sharing some of the stuff with me, I was trying to keep my face together because I knew some of my stuff was a little gray, right? And I come from a corporate background of working in HR and CFO level positions. So I knew the law from a corporate side of the law, and we didn't hire 1099. I mean, if we hired 1099s, it was to come in and fix the air condition or plumbing. Everyone who worked for us were W-2 employees. So I never really had to know the clear, all of this definition and all of that of a 1099 because there wasn't an option with us. You were a W-2 employee.
Mm-hmm.
So, and a good point to that is, I don't even know if this is a thing in your world, but I know when I worked in corporate, I would always say the law favors the employees, right? The law ain't set up for us business owners, y'all. I mean, they try to make it look like, yeah, we care about them both, but for real, it's real hefty over there in that employee side. So if you do have somebody miscategorized, like, it could cost you tens of thousands of back pay dollars. So it's a serious thing to sit down with Tracy and talk about these things.
Mm-hmm.
And I know y'all are like, oh my God, I got to pay for a consultation and I got to sit down and pay for her to review my contracts or review my documents. It will be well worth it because
Mm-hmm.
at least you'll have a foundation to run off of.
Yep.
Because if you don't have that foundation and you out here, as Tracy say, willy-nilly doing whatever, as many of us are in this entrepreneur space, right? Most of our people are 1099s, or at least think they are, and we're paying them as 1099s. So get an evaluation. I do have a question. I don't know if there's even a real answer to this, but because it's so confusing from our perspective of a business owner, is there really a way to like keep it simple? Like, from one point when you and I talked about this when we first met, I was like, well, shoot, maybe I should just make everybody a W-2 to fix it. Like, so that way it's not great. But then of course there's a lot more money and workers' compensation insurance and all these things I got to pay for. So I backtracked from that for now and just redid the definitions. But is there really a way to keep it simple?
So the overarching question I always tell people to ask themselves as business owners with your contractors, is, are you concerned about the how someone is getting the work done, or just the what? You say, hey, I want this done. You'd like it look this particular way, and you can say you need it by this time. And you don't care if they're on a beach in Tahiti doing it, or if they're sitting right beside you doing it, or what they're using to do it, as long as you're getting the end result. So if you have an independent contractor, think of it this way: they are their own expert. You brought them on for their expertise. They are their own expert in terms of the who, what, where, when, why, the details of it. You brought them on because you don't know nothing about that, or you don't know enough to do it yourself, or you don't have the bandwidth to do it yourself. So trust their expertise. Your concern is the finished product. What does that look like? Does it match what I've asked for? Do I want the colors? Do I want this particular design? I asked you to post X amount of times. You can give that kind of detail, but as a business owner, the simplest way, be concerned about the end product. If you start getting into the weeds leading up to the end product, you're starting to get into that gray area. So that's like a quick overarching, kind of litmus test. But with everything that you're talking about with the 401k contributions, et cetera, if you have an independent contractor, clearly they don't qualify as an employee, so they should not, they wouldn't get those benefits. But if you have that area gray and things go bad, and usually, we see this where things go bad. And the person is pissed off because they don't like how the relationship ended, or they thought they were going to get more contracts and didn't, etc. They start complaining along those lines. Whatever you were providing for your employees, yourself included, if it's an S Corp and you're an employee of that S Corp, whatever benefits you provided yourself, they will now become privy to that. So not only will you have to find the money to pay that, you're going to have to find the money for the fines that are going to come along with it. So this is not to scare, right? This is to educate and say, be strategic in how you are working with individuals. Be strategic with how you are classifying what they're looking to do, and how you come up with your compensation, packages and benefits, and what you would want. If you have good talent that is, that you're working with, you can have the conversation with them about, coming on as a W-2, and it could be part-time, right? It doesn't have to be you bring them on full-time so they get the full, benefits package, etc. It could be a part-time employee, and you can set up policies where certain benefits are only applicable to, employees that work X amount of hours, or etc. But, talk to myself, talk to Kelly, because she's going to let you know whether your numbers can match what you're trying to do.
Yeah, no, and we'll tie it together to make sure all the pieces come together and make sense, because there's so much more. Yeah, because I've just been thinking so much more, and I don't want to run over. I don't even know where our time is. But
I'm sure we're past our.
I'm sure we are, but I was thinking like hourly, like that's a big red flag, y'all. And I know a lot of y'all are tracking hours of your contractors. Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah.
That's a red flag automatically.
Yep.
But yeah, so let's leave it there. It's so much. I think we should probably the next one talk further about this, and some of the laws have changed, as you talked about with DOL. We can dig a little bit deeper in that, and they've also changed on the 401k side, where I think the limits increased for 2024, so that's even more money you can contribute.
There you go.
So I think if we just leave it there, we haven't hopefully overwhelmed you, but as Tracy said, we're not here to scare you. We're in here to give you to educate you and give it to you in layman's terms from a perspective that's hopefully easier to digest and understand.
Mm-hmm.
And then you can take this information and reach out to us, and we can have deeper discussions, and definitely take it to your tax person and your wealth advisor as well, and work in tandem with everyone, because you ultimately want a suite of people, right? And that's what the Carla, Tracy, and I provide. Is it makes it so much more streamlined for you business owners, because once you signed our confidentiality agreements between the three of us, then we can all talk to each other, and you can just have one conversation with one of us with a big pretty bow, and we just let you know what the conversation was, and then you make the final decision. So it's something to keep in mind. I think that's it. Tracy, you can close us out with any tips. Oh, I guess before you close us out, let me give you my website and what I have happening. The first thing I want you guys to do is go to my social media and vote. Find the link. I guess I'll post the link to vote, but it's all over my social media at Commas with Kellé. That's Commas with a K, Kellé with an E, on all social media platforms. And you can reach me if you are a business owner that's making more than $250,000 in gross revenue. That's in sales, pre-tax or pre-expenses. You want to get on my calendar because it's likely that you could be maximizing your profits and saving and spending more, upwards of at least $25,000 a month. So you can do that by going to maximizer.commaswithkellé.com.
And as Kellé talked about, we work also with Carla. So Carla and I are going to be doing our first master class on the 31st, January 31st, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. And it's free. We're not charging. I'll put the link, for that in the chat as well, for you to register. And we're going to get into some of this because, Carla does get into the details of the 401k from a business owner, perspective as well, and how they plan for their own wealth, in the process, and not just a business. And I'll get into, further details about the legalese behind it and setting up a, payment scale for your employees that doesn't turn into a discriminatory complaint. So I'll send the link for that. Otherwise, you can reach me either through my DMs on, Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn, or reach out at my website at reallawesq.com.
All right. Until next time. Bye, guys.